standard deviation. We have a question up here which we are going to solve later. But let's begin with mean. So mean is the average value for a data set. And it is obtained by adding all the values in the data set and dividing by the number of values. So in calculating for mean, we have sample data and then population data. And these are the data sets, number of values that we have been given. So this is the formula for calculation mean for a sample data. Summation of S, which is the number of the values, all over N.
Good.
Am I on?
Yes, yes.
So we add all the values that we've been giving together, divide by the number of values, which is 10. And we have 21 breaths per minute. Since you are calculating for respiratory rates, you have to bring in the units. And in calculating for population data, in calculating for mean for population data, the formula is basically the same, but the values, the letters in the formula are capital. If you interchange them, you will be marked accordingly. So you have to keep note of your formula. And the answer will give us the same 21 points, 21 breaths per minute. I've made a mistake. So let's move on to variance. So variance is the summation of the deviation all over number. Let's move on to variance. So in variance also, you can calculate for variance for a sample data and a population data. So the formula for variance for a sample data is summation of the deviation all over number of values minus 1. And in the population data, it is the summation of the deviation all over the number of values. And just like in the mean, the letters in the population data are capital and the letters in the sample data are small letters. So we have to calculate for the deviation first before we can calculate for the final answer for the variance. So using the deviation, x minus the mean. These are the values of x, and we had our mean to be 21. So you minus the mean from the values, and then you square it. So when you calculate, these are the values that you get. So then coming back to the formula, summation of the deviation. So you sum up the deviation and you get 50 all over n minus 1. N is 10 minus 1, you get it over 9. The final answer is 5.56. Then we move on to standard deviation. Standard deviation is square root of variance. So you put in the values and you get 2.23. Coming to calculating for population. Coming back to calculating for variance for population, we go through the same procedure. But remember, the denominator is only n, number of values. So n is 10. As we got earlier, n is 10. So you just put in the formula and then you divide 50 by 10, you get 5. And since the values here are different, you also get a different answer for the standard deviation, which is square root of variance, giving us 2.23. Thank you.
So what's the difference between the variance for sample data and variance for population data?
So the difference between variance for sample data and population data is the denominator of the formula. In sample data, the denominator is n minus 1, but in population data, it is just n. You don't minus anything from here.
Okay.
Am I correct?
That is fine. That is fine. Can you go over the mean calculation for the last time?